Hi, everybody, and time once again for the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. And Sam and I are happy to have the head ladies basketball coach at CHS with us. And we're going to talk about sectional play, right?
Correct.
Sam, the girls have looking better.
They are, and we saw a lot of improvement this year, and doesn't always mean wins and losses, but seeing the girls come along and seeing the younger ones, I think some of the younger ones,
yes,
the underclassmen, playing so much better, and buying into coach's system.
The kids have a better feeling, don't they, right now than they have for a while?
Definitely. You know, we've started to understand the process a little bit more of what it is offensively we're looking for, defensively what we're looking for. And, you know, the process, it takes a while to work through that, and it's unfortunately the wins and losses aren't where we want them, but the improvement that I've seen from the beginning of this year to the end of this year has been tremendous. And when the girls come out and they play together out there on the floor, they're really fun to watch, and they're really difficult to beat because defensively, you know, we've been holding teams down. It's just getting those shots to fall for us early on so we get in a rhythm.
Sectional play is about to begin. We're hours away from sectional play, right?
Correct. We play on Wednesday night, first game against Lawrenceburg, and our first game against Lawrenceburg that we had, it ended up being an 11-point game, and we were without two of our post players. Abby was just coming back, and Haley was out. So a little bit different feel this time going in, a little bit different look. When you have your post players back healthy and ready to go. And that, you know, when you have that post play, it opens it up for your guards. They can relax a little bit more, get some looks on the outside. So, you know, feeling good going into this sectional. It's wide open. It's anybody's sectional. And games that we've played have been close this year. So looking forward to getting going on Wednesday.
A win Wednesday will put you in the semifinals?
Correct. A win Wednesday would put us in Friday night against the winner of Greensburg and I believe Batesville. I think that's who it is, but they would be that winner, looking for that, and definitely a good opportunity. We played Greensburg close too, if it would be them that would come in, and Batesville we beat early on, so you know, good opportunities for us. We kept step out there on the floor ready to go and continue to have that belief in what it is that we're doing.
Sam, what have you noticed most of this season?
I think post play a lot, and ball movement. Seems like ball movement has improved a lot, and while we probably have more turnovers than we like, we've really cut down on the turnovers from the year before, and seem to be playing more of a cohesive group there. So. I like where we're at right now. They've been battle tested. They've played a tough schedule, and should be ready for the tournament. You know, we had Rushville right where we won them week before last, and you know they're probably the best team going in record-wise of the sectional opponents. I think probably second best in the conference, and East Central doesn't play in our sectional because they are 4A. So. I think that I hope that gives the girls some confidence. It should, that they can play with a team like Rushville and play within 1 point, and could have easily won that game.
Well, sure. Right. The weather may be a factor.
Yeah, you know, sectional time, it always seems like that's
in
when.
Indiana, right?
When the weather
goes with sectional time.
Comes in, and so you know. Wednesday we play. There's a chance of freezing rain coming in. If there would be a chance that our game would get postponed, then they're looking at going probably Friday, Saturday, and then moving the final game to Tuesday, so teams would have that Monday to prepare and be ready. So it's just all going to depend on how the weather comes in and when it hits, and I know that all across the state that's something they're keeping an eye on and trying to get plans ahead of time, so if it does happen, they're ready to go.
Well, hopefully we won't have it. Maybe the weatherman will be wrong.
Correct. Fingers crossed that they will be wrong, and we don't have to worry about that at all. Yes, definitely.
Well, I know we've had some close games this year, and as Sam just pointed out, a break here or there would have been a big difference.
Yeah, and I think that's the big difference looking at this season is how many close games that we've been in, and just getting over that hump to pull out one of those close games.
Yes.
And it's a shot here, a shot there, and just continuing to believe and continuing to battle. We look at the Rushville game, a 1-point game. We hit a 3 to get within 1. The girls listen to what it is that we want them to do. Ball movement, Sam mentioned, that has been much better. You notice when we get the ball going from side to side, that's when we get some good looks. Or when we kick it inside to our post players and it comes back out to our guards. And just the development, of our younger players coming along, helping the seniors down the stretch here. And so just understanding, what it is that we need to look for when we're most successful. And that's when we play together as 5 out there on the floor. And we're really difficult to stop.
Well, I hope we have a great section on the Spartans. Get a trophy.
Yeah, that's one thing we've been talking about, that this, we are sitting in a great opportunity to walk away and win a sectional championship. It's just stepping on the floor with confidence in ourselves. And we've seen that start to grow with the girls, the confidence and the belief that when they step on the floor, they play together as a team, that they can beat anybody. And we've seen that in our games this season.
How about your junior varsity? How have they improved?
Junior varsity has improved. We've seen some good things from them as far as their defense as well, picking up offensively. Again, when they work together and they get the ball moving side to side and we don't get stuck on one side, we get some good looks. I think probably one of the things with them, we've seen them look to get the ball up the floor and get some easy points. And,
Yes.
that's definitely, if you can get the ball up the floor and score early on, that's what you want to do. So,
How do you teach ball control?
well, the biggest thing with that is being able to handle the basketball, number one, but not over dribbling is a huge thing. And sometimes that's what we see. The first thing they want to do is catch the ball and dribble instead of catching and evaluating. So just really getting them to understand that when you catch, you need to look and see what opportunities we have. And we use our dribble either to improve our passing lane, to get out of trouble if there's a trap coming, or that we need to reverse the ball, or if we need to look to get ourselves in a better position where we can look to score. So just understanding that we don't want to catch and just start dribbling, but catch, evaluate, and then look to see what we have available for us.
Some important points, Sam.
Very much so, and I think communication, and when the girl picks up the dribble and nobody comes to her, it's communication to get somebody to them.
Definitely, and that's one big thing that we've really been working on, and we're getting better at, but still some strides to go, is with that communication factor. And understanding, yes, when somebody does pick up their dribble and if they're in trouble, we have to come to them, not go away from them. And sometimes we think if we go farther away, then that they can hit us on a longer pass, but sometimes they can't see you. So just understanding that communication part of it, and continuing to work together out there on the floor.
And this can start to build, understand that an elementary league is forming or has formed, and that's where they can really learn. And by the time you get them, then they understand those systems. Yes,
we are starting a league. It actually starts this Sunday.
Great.
So we have a 3rd and 4th grade group and 5th and 6th grade groups. So starting younger, getting the girls into the gym, learning fundamentals, just having a passion and joy for the game, getting out there and playing. But that's a huge difference, building that youth, getting them to come through. And then, our middle school group does a wonderful job down there teaching fundamentals, teaching the game, and just an enjoyment of being out there playing together. But yes, we do have our league coming up, and excited to get that going and hopefully continue to grow it throughout the years here.
And that will be with area communities?
Yes, we have Lincoln is coming, Liberty's coming. We have a team from Eaton, Ohio coming in, Franklin County, Union County. So, that's a start for us. We'd like to see that grow a little bit more. But probably, the big thing right now is some schools are still in season, so trying to figure out a time that works best. But we just wanted to get it going this year and see how things went, and always work on looking at improving over, next year, and maybe if we have to change when it is, looking at changing when it is, but just getting it going. And I know our younger kids, just talking with some of the coaches and some of the other coaches that are coming in, the younger kids are excited to get in there and get to play.
That's great that the younger ones get to see their big sisters or young ladies that they look up to when they come to the bowl and watch them play. Where will the games be played?
We're going to play at the field house, so
Okay.
starting Sunday at 1.
Great.
Yep.
That's good.
Every player has a specific job, and as long as they understand that and do that job, that gets you a win.
Definitely, yeah. Every player does have a role that they play on the floor, and understanding what their role is when they come in
Yes.
is really huge. And we've seen that this year with the girls coming in off of the bench, providing a spark for us when they come in. Coming in, just doing some of the little things, playing defense, getting the ball where it needs to go, getting in there, rebounding, communicating with each other out there on the floor. And, that is a really big part of it when, you're looking at being successful and getting wins.
Sure.
Is everybody playing their part and holding each other accountable when they're out there on the floor.
Absolutely.
And we've started to see that happen more and more this year.
Sam, that works as well for the boys.
Yeah, it does, and I think those kinds of things work with about any sport you're playing.
Sure.
But yeah, we see the guys. They play so well together, and I know the girls go and watch them, and it's a different game, but it's the same game, and it's good to see though that they do support each other.
Yeah, that is one really nice thing, that the boys come to our games, support the girls, and the girls are there supporting them. And that's exactly what you want to see, that school spirit and having teams out there supporting
Sure.
each other. And, it is a different game, but you're right, it is very similar. You see same patterns and same types of, when you're looking at defense, things that you're doing out there on the floor. Even some offenses, you can look and say, oh, yeah, we do run something like that, similar to that. So just being able to watch the game and picking up little things like that and learning as you're sitting there cheering on the other team as well.
And I've come to really enjoy girls basketball. It is a different game. I mean, there's not as much. I guess you're not going to see very many girls that can take it in and dunk it. And in boys basketball at this time, that happens occasionally. But I guess the physicality is what I'm trying to say is different. But the thing I like about girls basketball is it's a little more pure and a little more fundamental.
Definitely, yes, because we do play below the rim, that's for sure. We don't have girls. You see every now and then you'll have a girl that can do that. But yeah, it does take fundamentals, learning to do the little things and do those little things correctly. And again, it's playing together, it's communicating, it's just all of those pieces falling together to make you one unit out there on the floor, which makes it really difficult to stop when you have 5 players out on the floor that you have to worry about compared to just one player. And I think, we see that a lot with our girls, that every night it's somebody different that could contribute for us. So that makes it difficult, to stop. And it could be somebody that comes off the bench that's on fire that night and that provides that spark and does those little things. So you see, yes, definitely that the fundamental part of the game that is so huge when we talk about girls basketball.
Makes it, when you got a different girl stepping up on many occasions, does make them hard to guard, makes them hard for when they're being scouted.
Yes, because you could stop the one player that maybe had a leading scorer the night before, and then you have another player who steps up, and that's the nice thing that we have started to see this year, that it's not just dependent on one person. Anybody at any given night steps up for us, and sometimes it's our post players, sometimes it's our guards, sometimes it's a combination of post and a guard, and that's what makes it really nice as we're watching, just seeing different girls step up.
Sure,
and everybody contributing, but just different girls at different nights stepping up.
After the season is over in the next few weeks, what can the girls do, the returning players, what can they do? I've always heard that players are made in the summertime. What do you encourage them to do in the off season?
Well, the
if
biggest.
they're not playing other sports.
Right. If they're not playing other sports, when we have our limited contact, to come in and, get a ball in their hand and do some dribbling, some shooting. But, that's the biggest thing. Our ball handling skills have to improve for us with the level that we want to play at and the type of competition that we play, because like you mentioned, we do have a very tough schedule. But ball handling, and that can just be having a ball in your hand, even girls that are in another sport, when if they're sitting at home, you don't have to have a huge space to do ball handling. So we give them ball handling drills that they can do. We give them shooting drills that they can do. And if you want to be a great shooter, then you have to get out and shoot on your own.
Go out in the driveway and shoot free throws.
Yes, go out in the driveway, shoot. But when you're shooting, to understand, or when you're ball handling, that it has to be at game speed. Oftentimes we think that just because we're being active that we're achieving something, and we want to make sure that we're going at game speed. So those are big things that we talk to them about, give them some workouts that they can do on their own when they're not with us, because we only get a couple hours during the week, 4 hours during the week during limited contact, and just to be better at what it is that you want to do, you have to put a little more time into it.
Can 2 or 3 of them get together on their own, away from that situation, your limited contact?
Yes, they can. They can go out on their own and get together and work on. They could play 2-on-2, 1-on-1. They could get out, shoot, do some ball handling, work together. That's perfectly legal. We just, when it's during that limited contact, can only have that contact with them. With the basketballs, now we could do conditioning more often than that, but just with the basketballs.
You mentioned conditioning. That's become a big part of the game now. That strength and conditioning that didn't used to be. Even with the boys, I remember seeing guys that were really skinny, but now you see them that you can tell they've been in the weight room, just as you can tell the girls have as well. Yeah,
strength and conditioning has become a very big part of the game because it's such a long season. You want to make sure that you are getting in there, you're working on your strength, as well as just the conditioning with, running up and down the floor, but having that strength and, being able to bang on the inside, being strong when you go up and finish, getting a rebound, somebody bumping you and you're not getting offline because you're being low and you're being strong. But it is something that has evolved and has definitely taken off. I remember when I played, it wasn't a huge part of the game. We did some lifting every now and then when I was in college that became more, but, now high school, we really focus on that. And that's something we try to do in the off season. And then once we start up with basketball, we continue through the season.
And that's kind of true with all the sports that the kids play, that I know that working out has become a big part of all that.
Yeah, when you talk about athletes and wanting to have all-around athletes, it's important that you get in the weight room for each of your sports and do lift for the sport that you're in so that you're ready to go. And it trains other muscles. It's not just one type of muscle group that you're training, but you're training the entire body and working on upper body, lower body, core strength, which is huge when we talk about any type of sport that we're in.
And you encourage girls to play other sports as well.
Definitely. Love to see girls in other sports. They are put in different situations. They learn to win in different situations. They learn to work through adverse situations and work with different people. And it just makes for a more well-rounded athlete. Plus, it gives their body a little bit of a break from just the wear and tear with basketball or whatever other sport it is that they're doing.
And I've heard college scouts like multi-sport athletes when they're looking to bring a player into their university.
Yeah, definitely, when you talk about college athletics, they do like to see multi-sport athletes because when they get you, they're going to mold you into what they want to mold you into. And they want to see that you've been put in pressure situations, because sometimes maybe in basketball they weren't put in a pressure situation or didn't have that. But in volleyball, they had to step up and hit a serve at a crucial time or, it's just one of those things. They like to see those multi-sport athletes that are out there being a part of a team and doing other sports.
The Spartan boys had 2 ball games this weekend. Sam, they came close to winning both.
Well, yeah, they did. Friday night against Mount Vernon, lost by 1.
Yes.
Had an opportunity at the end to put it in, and it just didn't drop. Lucas was in a lot of traffic, and underneath the basket had 2 or 3 guys hanging on him, it seemed like. But Coach Brown will tell you that it's just not that last play of the game. It's everything, and Coach Harder will too. It's everything that leads up to that point, that a little thing here or there that could have been different, that you got to play. Every possession is important. And
Every time you touch the ball.
but then they came back on Saturday night and played a very good Jennings County team. And it looked like we were going to run away with it in the first half, but Jennings County made a run in the third quarter. But the Spartans didn't fold, and they hung tough and ended up winning by 19, which against a pretty good Jennings County team. Now, I didn't quite understand Jennings County in the fourth quarter. I had them 1 of 13, and all those shots were 3-point shots. Of course, if they went in, it would have been different, but I just thought it was a little strange strategy that they were using there after they had gotten to within 1 point in the third quarter of us.
Here's some highlights from the game on Saturday night at CHS. Let's watch it right now.
Jennings County had a 6'7" and a 6'8" kid, and the 6'8" kid had at least 1 3-pointer. Pretty nice basketball team overall, and some nice size. And Williams taking it in there. Josh had another big night, and Lucas Barron had a big night as well. And there's James Williams. He's a real spark coming off the bench. And Sparky, speaking of sparks, Sparky laying one in. So they had a good night.
That was good.
We just, Spartans are building that lead there in the second quarter, and like I say, I was thinking it was really going to be a blowout, but they came back and I think scored like 11 unanswered points on us, did Jennings County, and you just saw Josh go down there. It was a very physical game as well, and the officials letting them play. Lucas Barron from downtown. So here you see in the third quarter, Jennings County was making a run, but Sparks hits one from the corner, and that always gets the crowd excited.
It's a good addition to the schedule, though, Jennings County, I think, don't you?
Yeah, and it's very interesting that this is the second year of it, but they're coming here all 4 years of the contract, which is kind of nice for us. It's a long trip down to Jennings County, but they have wrestling sectional at their place on the weekend of this game, so they were looking for a game and they agreed to come here. So sometimes we've had in the past, we've had teams that would come here every year, and well, Union County comes and they always give us a good game, but there have been some in the past that maybe it would be better if we got out on the road a little bit. But a team like Jennings County is great competition, but you see the final there, 66-47, a nice non-conference win for the guys.
Yeah, it was a great victory for the Spartans, and we're glad to see them win. Take on a pretty tough game this week on Saturday.
Yeah, Lawrence North, always a tough one, and it's always a matinee because it's girls sectional weekend. We want to keep that night open because Dave and I are planning to come down on Saturday night and call the championship game of the Spartans and the Lady Spartans. And the only way we do that is if your girls are playing, and we're counting on that.
Well, that's our plan, to make you have to travel down there, and so that you have in the afternoon and the evening. So
yeah, keep Sam busy, Michelle.
that's right. That's right. We don't want to let him have too much time off there. So
you mentioned Lawrence North, and you've got some numbers there on Coach
They're
Kiefer.
9-4 on the season. Their last win was 69-53 over Center Grove of Indianapolis, and we were talking about their coach Jack Kiefer, who had the building built around him. I mean, he's been the only coach that Lawrence North has ever had, and he's in his 40th year, and he's 4 victories away from having 800 wins. So he's been around the block a few times.
He has. Interesting fellow.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Very. I've enjoyed talking to him over the years, and
he's a funny guy. I've talked to him too, and he has a lot of stories to tell you of way back when.
Yeah.
And he's interesting. Do you know Jack Kiefer?
I have not ever really got
Heard of him,
I know who he is,
suppose.
yes, but never really got to talk to him a whole lot.
Sam, is he the leading, or is there one ahead of him?
No, I think
as far as
he might be
concerned?
third. Jack Butcher is way up there, and I'm trying to think of another one.
Is he from Bloomington?
Down Lagodi area.
Lagodi, okay.
Yeah, I think
No,
so.
I think then the other one is
he
from
may be
Bloomington.
right up there. He's right up there with the active coaches. But he's had some great players, Greg Oden, and I'm at a blank now, but he had a lot of Division I players come through the program there.
As we mentioned, that's matinee games, so the JV team will be at noon, I believe.
At noon, varsity at 1:30. We'll be on the air at 1:15 with the pregame show, and
it'll be interesting, and we'll see who wins.
And they have, I always like to plug this, they have about the best hospitality room in the state. So.
Some guys, what do you think?
Well, I have to keep my strength up, to call the
right.
games.
We want you to be well fed and everything. So it should be very nice. Let's take a quick look at what's happening this week. The middle school basketball at East Central today. Freshman basketball at Richmond. Gymnastics home with Morristown on Tuesday. We're talking. We said it was sectional. It's actually on Wednesday, so we'll be all right. But we'll be swimming. Hosting the boys, hosting Muncie Burris at the CHS pool. On Wednesday, the girls swim sectional opens at New Palestine, 5:30. On Thursday, gymnastics at Columbus East at 6:30. On Saturday, wrestling regional will be, I'm not sure where that's at. I don't believe it's not here, I don't think. Then Lawrence North with the JV and varsity games at noon and 1:30. So that's the lineup of games that are upcoming at CHS. They're kind of winding down, Michelle.
Definitely, yep, your winter sports are winding down. Pretty soon we'll be in with the spring sports, and it's hard to believe that it's another season, yes, winding down and coming to an end here in the next few weeks. But
Sam talked about the girls, when the season ends, doing another sport. Which is the best one for a basketball player?
Well, I think any sport that they want to be involved in, it's just whatever they enjoy doing, because you want them to be out there and play a sport that they enjoy. But any of the sports that that they want to be involved in is going to be great for them to do.
All your kids doing well in the classroom?
They all are doing very well in the classroom.
That's very important.
That's one nice thing. We talk about being student athletes, and they definitely all are very good in the classroom and with their academics. So that's one less thing that, as a coach, that you have to worry about, because they do put a lot of pride into what they're doing in the classroom.
And you do keep close watch?
Yes, we do keep an eye on them and see how they're doing in the classroom. And luckily, like I said, they're very good in the classroom, and it's not something that we have to worry about.
Playing is very important to have smart kids.
It is, and playing sports or being involved in other things like band and those types of things teach the kids time discipline and time management.
Yeah, definitely. That's one thing that when you're busy, you have to figure out when you're gonna get your classwork done, and when you have practice and whatever it is that you're doing with in the extracurricular. And sometimes it's a lot easier when you're busy to keep yourself on track and on time in that time management, because you can't say, oh, well, I can get this done later. Right.
Yeah.
So it does definitely help with that time management and getting things done on when you need to.
Do the kids take their books on the bus with them on road trips?
Some of the girls do work, on the bus, especially if we're on the Spartan Express, when they can have Wi-Fi and they can, work on some of their homework. So, yeah, they do take advantage of that.
Michelle, good luck in the sectional, and we want you get a trophy Saturday night and keep Sam busy. We will have to have him doing something over the weekend.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And we do want to keep Sam busy, so
Right. Well, good luck.
thank you.
And thank you for joining us tonight.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, everybody, for watching this edition of the Spartan Sports Report here on TV3. Good night.